Hey, what's up, everyone? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me. And I am on vacation in the beautiful sandy beaches of Miami, Florida. At least that's where I should be, but instead I am back home in the American Southwest. So, I was supposed to go to Miami for a bachelor party. I am going to be a groomsman for a buddy of mine's wedding. And sadly, the airline gods deemed me unworthy, and my flight was canceled multiple times to the point that I just gave up and went back home. So it's kind of a bummer. Normally, I do like to make a vacation EDC every time I go somewhere new because, different culture, different climate, and all that stuff, laws, and so I try to adapt to that environment. And sadly, I'm over here. So I'm going to make the best of it and film my EDC update now because not only have I gotten a lot of new gear for testing, it's even better. It opens up an opportunity because I would have been very limited in what I could carry in Miami because we're in a lot of resorts and clubs and stuff like that. Because, it's a bachelor party. And I would have been limited in terms of EDC gear. For example, I wasn't even going to take my fixed blade. So now I get to show off all the new gear I got. So I'm getting a ton of new gear, and some of the stuff's getting me out of my comfort zone. For example, I am, for the first time in many years, leaving the haversack at home and using a pack. So let's show you what I have new. So thank you for joining me. Let's get started. So as always, we begin from our head down to our toes and then talk about the secondary gear after that. So obviously the first thing you'll notice is I do have a brand new hat. And now I actually debuted this hat in last week's video talking about wearing a wide brim hat or a cowboy hat for the outdoors, such as bushcraft, hiking, camping, fishing, hunting, all that stuff. Now, that's a more niche topic. It did not get a ton of views, so I'm sure a ton more people are going to be watching this video and seeing this hat for the first time. Now, this is an Akubra The Territory. That's the model. And this is from Australia. And I am loving this hat. This is definitely my style. And I think it's going to be very useful, not only for the summer months, but for the cold months as well. So it's damn near identical in shape to my straw hat that you've been seeing me wear this whole summer. But of course, it's going to be a little tougher, and it's going to be useful in the cold months as well because this is made out of felt. So it's not as cool as that hat, but I think it's going to be more versatile for the rest of the year. Once again, it's felt. It does have these holes here to allow a breeze to come in here or dissipate some body heat. And of course, I did have to add the obligatory Rovivon A1 flashlight. That way I can have my hands free when I need illumination. Say I'm doing some night fishing or I needed to, say, change a tire when I'm traveling, something like that. It's going to be very useful. So I am really loving this hat. It was $208, so it was not cheap, but for me, I think it's a worthy investment because I use my hats damn near every day. Next thing are these Ray-Ban sunglasses. So I've mentioned many times before that I have a lot of vision problems, especially because of the sun. It's so bright out here in the glare and all that stuff. So I do need to make it a habit to wear sunglasses more often, and I'm always forgetting or I break them. So these are some Ray-Ban aviators. I've had these for years. I don't normally use them much. I feel like aviators feel really fragile, really frail to me. And these wire rims on the side, these sides just allow a lot of sunlight in here if I'm not wearing the hat. So they're not my favorite sunglasses, but they'll do for now until I can save up and do my research and buy a really good pair of sunglasses that I like a little bit better. But so far, they're doing their job just fine. And then next after that, of course, my notepad and pen, the most boring of my EDC gear, but some of the most important for me. Me being a creative person, an artistic person, for lack of a better word, I do like writing on a notepad. I write to-do lists, I sketch ideas for a thumbnail, stuff like that. Just jot down a lot of ideas and stuff. Now, we live in a world where everybody has a cell phone and you can easily type these things in, but once again, being creative, I think there's a certain importance in physically doing it. I think there's more creativity there, and I'm sure it's just a psychological thing and it really makes no difference. But once again, I'm a big believer in a good notepad and pen to carry around with you. You never know when inspiration will strike, or you even just need to write down your damn groceries so you don't forget anything and have to go back. So moving on down to the belt, getting to the fun stuff. Well, let's get the boring stuff out of the way first. Keys, of course, everybody has keys. Everybody knows what the necessity of them is, so I won't delve too much into that. Next is a brand new flashlight. This is the next flashlight that I am testing. This is by the company Trustfire. First time I ever use a Trustfire flashlight. This is the Model MC1, and so far, so good. I am liking it. You guys know my style. I like a very small light like this with a magnetic tail cap. USB-C rechargeable. Well, it does come with a proprietary charging cable, similar to Olight. And very nice, lightweight, very good looking, and 700 lumens. So that's pretty strong. I'm liking this light so far. So that goes, of course, my pocket. In my coin pocket, of course, I'm going to have a lighter, source of ignition. So anyway, moving on back here, my leather wallet made by 610. That's my buddy James Howard. He made this for me years ago, going on almost 3 years now, and still nice and simplistic. Really good stuff and comfortable. And now, let's talk about this right here. I have a brand new snake eater. Obviously, I'm sure everybody here knows this is my knife design, the snake eater. And this is an exact replica of the original one that I lost. If you remember, about a year ago, I did lose mine, and I was really heartbroken about that. A longtime viewer, Free America, Nathan from the Free America YouTube channel, was kind enough. He reached out to the maker, Woody Smith, without informing me, and had one made to be an exact replica of that original. And that's such an awesome, just such a genuinely beautiful thing to do. I had no idea he was doing it, and very thoughtful. You can see the 001 right there, leopard wood scales with white liners, of course the multi-grind, Scandi to flat, 90-degree spine, AEBL steel with the JRE Industries sheath. So big thank you to Free America. I'll have the link down below to his channel as well, so you can check him out. He does a lot of reviews on like old military knives and stuff like that, historical knives. Really like that. If you're into history and knives, you're going to like his channel. Check him out. Really awesome guy. And Woody Smith, of course, he's the maker from Wood Steel Knives. He outdid himself. This is easily the best, most beautiful, well-crafted snake eater that I have ever seen. And I have held easily about 20 of them throughout my life. So, I mean it when I say that this is absolute perfection right here. So you'll see this in action tomorrow. I don't want to use this one often, but here and there you'll see it. So brand new snake eater. And then, of course, my back butt pocket, a bandana for 1,000 uses, particularly this time of year, to just wipe sweat off your face because you're sweating nonstop. So the bandana is nothing too different, but brand new knife, brand new flashlight. Oh, and a cool little design I've been working on is a chapstick, but I did add a clip to it. And so that way I can just have it here. It's always there. It's not dangling at the bottom of my pocket or anything like that. So I dig that, because I'm just so tired of having it just down here like this, and it just looks awkward and bunchy. I don't know why that just bugged me so much. So I just needed to find a good little clip that would just fit this snugly. And there you go. And lastly, of course, my boot was going to have a boot knife. Let's bring this down, see if you can see it. And I have a whole review on this one. You've seen this one many times. This is the Exodus Knife and Tool Adventure Craft right here. Like I said, I have a review on it over here in the corner. Just keep in mind that this is the first iteration of this blade, originally made by somebody else. It is now made by White River Knives. The new White River Knives version, I feel, is far superior in terms of quality, fit and finish, and materials. So this is the older one, a more simplistic one. I still love it. It makes a great boot knife. Just a secondary cutting tool with a little flat grind, 1/8 inch thick, 90-degree spine, 1084 steel, with micarta scales and red liners, and a really nice, comfortable Kydex sheath. This blade is not going anywhere, and it's an awesome little blade. Once again, keep in mind, if you were interested in one of these, it's now made by somebody else. They're a little bit more expensive, but I would say that they're worth it with the new ones. But I'm happy with this one as a boot knife. And moving on from there, let's talk about our secondary gear that we carry. So stuff that's not necessarily on your person, but you would carry with you, like your pack, your haversack, stuff like that. And the most important one, especially during the summer down here in Texas, is water. Bring some kind of water container. It is very important. People tend to underestimate the heat. They underestimate the dangers of heat stroke and hyperthermia. Just a couple days ago, a 14-year-old boy went hiking and he died in Big Bend, Texas, which is about 3 hours away from us. Once again, people need to take these things seriously because, you know, you're playing with your life here. I'm quoting a Michael Jackson song right now. But yes, carry some kind of water every time you leave home. And even if I run out of this, I do have a whole jug of water in my truck. So just keep that in mind. It's extremely important, particularly during the summer months. And now, let's talk about this pack right here. This is by the Hidden Woodsmen. I just received this not so long ago, and I am loving this. Now, I am normally a haversack kind of guy, but I decided to change things up a little bit and try using a backpack instead for everyday carry. But because it's larger and you'll see in the inside that it's far more versatile, you can actually take this as like a backpacking, an overnighter type of pack. There's definitely room in here for some of that. So if it looks a little bulky, a little large with a lot of stuff, when you see the items, keep in mind it's because I am ready to leave first thing in the morning tomorrow to go camping. So that's why it's packed a little bit more stuff for the wilderness than I normally would carry, like if I was just taking this to my job, for example. So let's take a look at this pack. So once again, this is made by the Hidden Woodsmen. Everybody knows the Hidden Woodsmen. If you don't, they've been making outdoor gear products for bushcraft and survival and stuff like that, camping, for over 10 years. Handcrafted here in America. Exceptional designs, exceptional guy. I consider him my friend, Malcolm Coder, who is the founder of that company. And I mean, he just gets better and better with time. I mean, the material is military grade. Once again, made in America, supporting small business. Check out this awesome pack. And once again, I'm getting out of my comfort zone because I'm so used to using haversacks. But yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying this. And first things first, let's show you the padded shoulder straps. And I did add a Robimon flashlight here. Now, I just received this a few days ago. This is the A29, I want to say. Yes, A29. This is all brass, so it's a little heavier. I think this is really cool to attach on here. Now, I am scared that one day, like if I'm walking, it's going to fall off and I'm going to lose it. So I do want to get like a hairband so I can tie this side to this side, so that way it's always here. So I'll do that eventually. I just don't have any hairbands. I have short hair. But I will be adding that pretty soon. And of course, the buckles are adjustable, so you can make them longer, shorter. You know, we're all different sizes. And oh, also, I do have this little fox right here. And this was a gift from my brother's wife, Leanne. She saw this and immediately thought of me. This is, of course, I mean, this is straight up Junkyard Fox merch right there, with the hat and the knife in its mouth and the bandana. I mean, even the little hat looks like my traditional hat that you see me wearing the most, the Brixton. So that's really cool. So now I'm just going to have this little guy here to join me on adventures. Okay, so let's open this front flap. See what I'm carrying in here. Now, this is ATAX camo out here. I really love this. And the inside is bright yellow. Once again, a very common thing that the Hidden Woodsman does is add bright visibility on the inside. So when light is getting a little low, a little dim, you can see in here, and it helps identify the stuff you have in here. So this is a little pouch. I do have just all my charging cables in here, so that way they're just not a tangled mess in here. My spice kit, of course. You always see me using these when I'm out camping, whether I'm cooking up a steak or some noodles or something like that. I have blackening, black pepper, chili flakes, seasoned salt, Larry's seasoned salt, and cinnamon. I will probably change out that cinnamon for something else. My utensil, of course, Yuko spork and spoon here for making coffee, eating my food. A ferro rod, of course, a large 6-inch ferro rod. This was a gift from Paleo Hiker MD, the YouTube channel. Ernie, he sent this to me for Christmas a few years back. I've still been using it. Still got plenty of years left on it. A multi-tool. This is my Leatherman Blast, my favorite multi-tool that I own. And of course, pliers, secondary knife, saw, bottle opener, can opener, so on and so forth. This is a sternum strap that I can add to the pack in case it's really weighed down, in case I'm really traveling and, you know, going to be out in the field and during dispersed camping or something. I can add this. No need for it right now, but it's good to have. And then a little honing rod from Victorinox to tighten up my blades when I'm out in the field and I dinged one up or something. So it's the basic usage in here, just the basic stuff that I don't want to reach into the bag and take out a bunch of stuff. Just right away what I need, a charger, something like that, a multi-tool. Then of course, when we're not filming, my microphone is in here as well. And now let's open this baby up. And there we go. Now, as you can see over here on the sides, I do have 2 little side pockets, and I like to place my stuff in here. One of them, I have my Silky saw, my Silky Gomboy, relatively new saw that I got. Been really enjoying it. It's already getting some scuffing here from use. So when I'm gathering wood to make a shelter, to make a fire, stuff like that, this comes in handy. Really nice. I place it in here, and as you can tell, whenever I'm putting it away in the pack, I have it here like this, and so that way whenever I connect them, close this up, and I'm traveling, these aren't going to get snagged on a branch and then I'm going to lose them. So it just adds a little bit of an anchor point there. Over here I do have a Phoenix charger, so it's the Phoenix ECP. It doubles as a flashlight. And then back here, I can charge my electronics. So once again, I need to charge my phone, one of my lanterns, my flashlights, stuff like that. This comes in handy for that. Bam. So let's open this up and check this out. As mentioned earlier, I mean, you can really add a lot more stuff in here. Really stuff this thing in case you're going to be taking a trip for multiple days, or maybe during the winter months where you need some more stuff like a wool blanket and stuff like that. There's definitely plenty of room in here. So really impressive. So once again, I am planning to go camping tomorrow. So there's a lot of camping stuff in here that I normally wouldn't have, you know, if I'm just commuting to work kind of stuff. So one, I do have a small boo-boo kit from Tough Possum Gear, so a little first aid kit. So simplistic stuff, you know, gauze, sanitation wipes, stuff like that, bandages, stuff for cuts, scrapes, slight burns, you know, I got stung by a bug, something like that. Simple stuff. There's also like ibuprofen in there as well, anti-diarrhea medication, stuff like that. Once again, not, you know, something serious like I was mauled by a grizzly, but, you know, just the basic stuff. And what I like about this is that this is glow in the dark as well. So in case somebody needed to reach into this in the dark, it's gonna glow. I don't know if you can tell right there, but that's really awesome. So right away they know, hey, here's the medic pack, the first aid kit. Next is my cup, of course, my canteen cup for boiling my noodles, boiling my coffee, stuff like that. I have my Yuko lantern in here as well. I have a link on this if you're so inclined up here in the corner for my Yuko products. Love Yuko and their innovative ideas and items. A secondary bandana, of course, 1,000 uses for a bandana. Over here I have my little poncho, my One Tigress crappy little poncho. It's not that great. It's a great poncho, but not a great tarp, because it's meant to double at it as a tarp, but it's not a very good tarp. If you saw my camping in the desert while there was a thunderstorm, this thing was just very difficult to use because it's a rectangle, it's not a square, so it limits on the configurations you can make that tarp, and it's very small. But better to have it and not need it. Worst comes to worst, I could just use it. I use this as a pillow sometimes. Here's my Unigear sleeping pad. You've seen me using this one for the last year. This is great. This is really awesome. I'm really loving this. This was a game changer. Very comfortable when I'm sleeping on the ground. Keeps me nice and comfortable so I don't wake up and my back is killing me. So it doesn't take up that much space, but it makes a world of difference when you're trying to get a good night's sleep in the wilderness. And now here's for an actual tarp. This is my Snug Pack all-weather shelter. This thing is huge. Now this is the right proper tarp to have for all kinds of weather. So if it's pouring rain, if it's hailing, something like that, this is what I'm gonna rather have than the little crappy poncho slash tarp. This is gonna be much larger, much more versatile. So I'm planning to sleep just with my bivy. I'm not taking a tent. So this is gonna be providing me a shelter system if needed. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, my bivy. This is from the Pathfinder School. So, first time trying this out. It's so far so good. I mean, I've tested it at home, but that's not the same thing. Very spacious, so far so good. So I just got to get it out there and give it some dirt time. Yeah, so trying something different for tomorrow. And then, of course, you could see that this is bright yellow as well. And this, I have my little grill because I'm planning to grill me a steak out there. You've seen this before several times. Not a large grill, but gets the job done. Place this in here. The lid to my canteen, of course. And then here is my thermal vision from InfiRay. I do have a review on this as well. To some mixed results. I wanted to love it, but there was some issues with it. Some lag and some frame rate issues. But then after the review came out, it turns out that my phone may be old because I have an older iPhone, an iPhone 11, and this thing may require something a little bit more modern, something like an iPhone 13 or 14, and that is what fixed the issue. That's what I got a lot of comments from the viewers mentioning. So I will update my phone pretty soon, and we'll check it out. I may have to re-review this thing because I may not have been very fair. But as you can see, plenty of room in here. Almost forgot, there is a third compartment down here. I don't add a lot of stuff to here because it's gonna get really packed, but I just have a ton of cordage. So just a ton of cordage here for my tarp in case I need it. Last time when I was doing that desert haversack only during a storm, I had very little rope, so I ran out of it quickly, and boy did I miss it. So I learned from my mistakes, and I have a ton of paracord and bank line in here. Well, folks, that's about it for me. I better make this quick. The sun is setting quickly, meaning I'm running out of lighting. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and comment down below which one of these items would you like to see us test out. Maybe the hidden Woodsmen 23 pack, maybe one of these new Rovivon flashlights, maybe the Akubra the Territory hat. Let us know because we have a ton of new gear to test out. So comment down below what's the review you most are excited for to see us make. And that's about it for us, folks. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys next week with another adventure. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.